Jacob Roloff reveals how he's rebuilt his life 10 years after Little People, Big World exit and abuse allegations. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For Roloff family latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. Jacob Roloff is reflecting on how his life has evolved since he left his family's reality show Little People, Big World. The former TLC star, 28, took to Instagram to acknowledge contradictions in his world, namely living on his family's farm despite separating himself from the series. He discussed the subject in a lengthy caption alongside photos out in the pasture, which feature his wife Isabel Rock and their 3-year-old son Mateo Tomas. This spring marks 10 years since I got my money from the show I was on for over 10 years of my life. I was 18 and finally had the agency to not sign the contract, so I didn't and promptly left home mostly due to disgust for the show and reality TV in general, Roloff wrote in his post shared on Sunday, March 30th. I used that money to build my world back again with my wife rather than capitalize on it for all it was worth, for better or worse. Roloff previously addressed his departure from LPBW in an Instagram post from July 2016. I get comments on here all the time about how people miss me on the show or telling me I should do a few more episodes with the family. I'm posting this to say that will never happen, he wrote at the time. I am with my family and I love them. I'm just here to say you'll never see that from me on TV again. He also referenced his time and salary on the show in a May 2022 post on X, formerly Twitter. People don't realize I was paid roughly $6 per hour to be filmed for my whole childhood, he wrote on the social media platform. I'm still called rich derisively LOL. I wish I went scorched earth, but I value family. I wish I kept filming, but I value my principles and my soul. Life is complicated. In December 2020, Roloff opened up more about his experience on LPBW and alleged that he was molested by Chris Cardamone, a former producer on the show from 2007 to 2010. It is often much easier to think about things than it is to talk about them, and so this disclosure has been delayed, but through that delay I have found the fortitude in words, Jacob wrote on Instagram at the time. As a child, after what I realize now was a long grooming process, I was molested by an executive field producer for Little People Big World, Chris Cardamone. I choose to disclose it now as it remains a traumatic memory that needs to be exorcised of any further power over my development, Jacob continued in his post. I am certain that this is a positive moment for me and another step toward a brighter future. At the time, Cardamone did not respond to people's request for comment, and TLC told people in a statement, TLC was just informed about an alleged encounter that occurred years ago involving a third party connected to the production of Little People, Big World. We are saddened and troubled by this very serious allegation, and TLC will work cooperatively with the authorities. Related, Jacob Roloff says he was molested by Little People, Big World producer after long grooming process. In his recent Instagram post, Roloff voiced his gratitude for his adult life on his family's farm alongside his wife and son, growing things and stewarding the land, he wrote, adding that he was raising my own kiddo doing the same things I used to do on the farm. He noted that the past 4 years have been insightful, both materially and retrospectively. Roloff said he grappled with learning about farming systems and equipment operation as well as his own growing style, and he continued to reflect on what it means to live on the property after leaving the series. What is the farm without a TV crew? He mused in the caption. What can the farm be without TV? His dream is that the farm can encourage a more localized community space instead of so heavily relying on out-of-town tourism, wrote Roloff. Related, Jacob Roloff's family supports him after he reveals he was molested as a child. It has been fun meeting people from all over the world, but I'd also love to meet some more of our neighbors here in Oregon, he he continued. What I want to do for as long as I am able is to emphasize and deepen a reform back to community-based agritourism, to contribute positively socially by growing edible food for the community and being an intermittent space for community gathering, creating useful things and being a useful space. He concluded by underscoring his appreciation for the opportunity to steward to farm. Farmland is sacred now, Roloff said, always learning and growing. I can only hope we have this farm for another generation. Fans of the TLC series, Little People, Big World, have watched members of Oregon's Roloff family go through all sorts of changes. From kids growing up to family members leaving the show and the divorce of Matt Roloff and Amy Roloff. One familiar element remained, though, and that was the family's home on Roloff Farms in the Helvetia area. But the fate of the property became a contentious issue, as the Oregonian, Oregon Live, and other sources reported that Matt Roloff announced in 2022 that he wanted to sell part of the farm, a 16-acre parcel listed for a price of $4 million. But that wasn't the end of the story. As People magazine reported later in 2022, Roloff said he was pulling the part of the farm off the market and instead planned to turn it into an Airbnb-style destination for travelers. Drama ensued as one of the Roloff offspring, Zach Roloff, expressed interest in buying part of the farm, which didn't happen. Instead, Zach and his wife Tori and their family moved from Oregon and settled in Battleground, Washington. In 2024, Zach and Tori Roloff announced that they planned to part Little People, Big World. In the latest twist, Matt Roloff has put Roloff Farms on the market again, with a listing price of $2,895,000. Here's how the property is described in a news release from the Real Brokerage, which is handling the sale. Located just outside Portland in Hillsboro, Oregon, this 16-acre estate blends luxury living with unmatched creative potential. The 5-bedroom, 6,462 sq.-foot main home includes a theater, gourmet kitchen, and multiple offices, while the property's showstoppers are what set it apart. A custom-built western town, a 3,600 sq.-foot barn, scenic bridges, a pool, and even a miniature castle. Little People, Big World has aired on TLC since 2006. Earlier in the show's run, it focused on life at the farm, Matt and Amy Roloff, who have dwarfism, and their children, Zach, who also has dwarfism, and Jeremy, Molly, and Jacob. As People reports, at this point, it's not clear if Little People, Big World will return for more seasons. Copyright 2025, Advance Local Media, LLC. Visit OregonLive.com. Distributed by Tribune Content Agency, LLC. The Seattle Times does not append comment threads to stories from wire services such as the Associated Press, the New York Times, the Washington Post, or Bloomberg News. Rather, we focus on discussions related to local stories by our own staff. You can read more about our community